A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, follows a now pregnant Alice Johnson, who discovers that Freddy Krueger is striking through her unborn baby's dreams, hoping to be reborn into the real world. This film was directed by Stephen Hopkins, and it stars Lisa Wilcox, Robert Englund, Kelly Jo Minter, and Danny Hassel. So Nightmare 5 comes from the same director that gave us Predator 2, a film that I actually enjoy quite a bit. I cannot say the same thing about this film though. Nightmare 5 fucking stinks. And it's funny because I actually remember really liking this one the first time around in kind of a fun bad way, but my god, I was bored out of my fucking mind this time round. But as with any film, there is always some merit to be found. So I will say that I like some of the practical effects and creativity on show here. The motorcycle kill is a standout. I really like that kill. I also really like the comic book kill where he's basically turns into a comic book strip. I like that, and he gets slashed and the blood is basically the colour from the drawing coming out. That's really cool. I like the weird part where she opens the fridge and sees all the food going all mouldy and rotten with the kind of stop motion effects, and she sees Greta reaching out of the fridge. I think that's a pretty cool scene, pretty cool visual. And I also like the effect when Freddy and Alice's head merge. I think that looks pretty gross and cool. It almost reminds me of that effect in The Thing. I like that. I think it looks cool. Lisa Wilcox's performance as Alice has vastly improved since Dream Master. While I don't think her character has got anything to do interesting in the film, I think her performance certainly improves. She's certainly watchable. She certainly feels like a real person. She doesn't feel wooden. I quite like her in this film. I like that she and her dad get along now. It makes for a bit of a, I don't know, it's just kind of a, you watch it and you're like, oh, that's good. I'm glad to see those two are getting along now. The establishing shot of the asylum looks really cool. It looks like a painting. It's very gothic. I'm pretty sure it's just a miniature, I'm guessing by looking at it, but it looks really cool. I love that shot. And lastly, the final set piece that we get with all the stairs kind of going in each direction, it's well crafted. It's cool to look at. Now, with all the positives that I could mine out of the way, holy fuck, this film is boring. And one of the many reasons why it's so boring is that there are only 3 kills. 3 kills in the entire film. A 90-minute late 80s slasher where 3 people bite it. That is not good enough. Boost those numbers. And the other 85 minutes or whatever is just these characters talking and doing nothing, just talking about Freddy. And speaking of all that talking, all of the mythology in this film that you get is so boring and so stupid. With Freddy creating all these dream labyrinths and like Amanda Krueger, the bastard son of 1,000 maniacs or whatever it is, and Alice Cooper imagines herself as Amanda, and then all of a sudden, Alice Johnson. What the fuck am I saying? Alice Johnson imagines herself as Amanda Krueger, and she's giving birth to this baby in this weird, old-fashioned mental asylum, and then there's like this discussion on whether babies can dream, and it turns out that unborn babies actually spend 70% of their time in the dream state, and that's why it's happening. And then it's revealed that because the unborn baby can dream, and it's the unborn baby's dreams, Alice gets affected by those dreams. But not only that, but all of her friends get affected by the unborn baby's dreams. Isn't the whole point that Freddy comes and kills you in your dreams, not some fucking baby's dreams? What is going on? And then you've got the baby that ends up turning out to be the kid from Jurassic Park, and he turns into Freddy and gets all of Freddy's powers, and they duke it out. And then Freddy's ghost mum shows up, and it's just the story, and everything throws all logic out of the window. Even for this franchise, it's just ridiculous. But it's ridiculous to the point of being boring because most of it isn't visual. It's just these characters talking and telling each other about it. Freddy doesn't have a single good line in this film, and that is depressing to me. The only one that is kind of giggle-worthy is Bon Appetit Bitch, but even then, that's in a scene that I fucking hate, so it just doesn't really work for me. And then other things like Super Freddy. What? None of the characters are interesting at all. All they do is talk and argue. Alice is trying to convince everyone else of Freddy's existence. They don't believe. Something happens. She tries to convince them of Freddy's existence. Something happens. They still don't believe. And then they just repeat, rinse, repeat. They're just telling everything and everyone. It's basically just to explain this ridiculous plot to the audience. That's all the characters are there for. They're basically just the screenwriter's vessel to speak directly to the audience. I really hate how much of a mean-spirited tone this film has too. It's not funny or scary. It's just weird and uncomfortable and unpleasant in a way that's not in a good horror way. It's just like you're watching it and just like, no, I don't like that. The prime example of that is the food kill. Again, it's not funny, it's not scary. It's just sad when it's not meant to be. You have this teenage girl who is forced by her uncaring mother to having a perfect body, and she's constantly gawked at and mocked by her mum's rich prick friends, before being killed by being force-fed her own guts. It plays it as a joke, but it's just horrible and icky. It's just this girl that's been tormented by this horrible woman for her entire life into being perfect, and then Freddy kills her in that way, and it's all meant to be funny, and it's just sad. It's weird, it's uncomfortable, and sure, other films in the franchise, especially Dream Warriors, have had mean-spirited, nasty kills, but at least that was like a very controlled sense of humor with some of those kills, like Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. Like, it's funny, but it also doesn't treat it like it's a complete joke. It is still sad, and they give you time to dwell on that. Whereas in this, it's just like, haha, look at this stupid bitch that's forced into being a perfect model. Fuck her. It's nasty. I don't like it. And finally, having a Nightmare on Elm Street film be about a teen pregnancy where she has to come to terms with the potential burdens that having a baby at her age will lay on her life, while people around her think she's going crazy and they want to try and take the baby off of her, and then there's even some talk of abortion in here. It's just, look, wrong place for this kind of stuff. It is so unpleasant, and it just feels like it belongs in a complete other movie, and it's just like everything is treated as one big joke, and it's just like, guys, this is some serious shit. It's like, if you're gonna make a comedy on something like that, like it's a touchy subject. It's like, you got to do it with a bit of nuance or a bit of cleverness or wit, but it's not. It's just weird, and I don't like it. So overall, I hate this movie. I cannot believe that I enjoyed it when I first watched it, but like, my God, it is never once funny. It's never scary. It's got 3 kills in the entire film, one of which I hate. And when it's not being one of those 3 kills, it's a bunch of boring, convoluted, nonsensical mythology and story threads that bored me to tears. Mix that in with some weird teen pregnancy and some abortion and stuff, and it just becomes a really weird, uncomfortable, unpleasant watch. A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, is fucking terrible. Thank you all so much for watching my review on A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Let me know what you think of this film in the comments. Do you actually like this film? If so, you are wrong. Anyway, let me know what you think. Look forward to my review on Freddy's Dead coming soon. But, yeah. Freddy's Dead. I'll see you all later. Bye.